Hey everyone, welcome to Dungeoneered. I'm your host, Jeremy Stratton. This is the show that's going to shine a spotlight on everyone's cool player-made dungeons and homes from EverQuest II, with the occasional bit of news and updates sprinkled in. This is episode 2, and I've already pre-planned a very awesome dungeon I found by Pixiewrath called something that's hard to pronounce. It sounds sort of like Mayan, like the old Mayan gods, like Quetzalcoatl or something like that, like Quel'Stezch domain, I'll just say. But this is a very cool dungeon. It's not like they used the longest layout. It's Crushbone Layout 3, but it's so well designed, and it's a little bit on the hard side for solo, but that's not saying anything bad about it. It's like an incredibly well-made dungeon. As you can see, we're popping in here, and you can just see already the whoops, we're gonna have to get out of here, but you can already see there's been a lot of decorations going on just within this first room. I typically take Void Stalker. That's what I did in last week's episode when I ran Quel'Stezch's dungeon, Star Trek Another Quadrant. It is a little bit tricky to get going fighting this first group of players or of enemies, because of the view is constrained due to that being so close. As you can see, I'm not paying enough attention, and these groups will pose a challenge to single players. So, for time's sake, because I have a feeling this will take a long, long time, because I did go through this once before, and to explore everything, and there's a ton to explore, but it's gonna be... I might just have to at least show you each room. There's guys hiding back there, I think. There's this thing, he's walking to and fro. So they did an excellent job. Pixiewrath did an excellent job with mob placement, mob difficulty, and just a tremendous amount of decorating. All of this is just, and every room is like this, as we'll get in and see. First few groups, I said the first group you really had to pay attention, and this group seemed a little bit easier, but it quickly becomes a challenge. And I love how Pixiewrath decorated and utilized things like tombstones, with the plaques on the tombstones. They actually, I always say the same thing, Pixiewrath actually went in and made like this story around this Quel'Stezch guy. And it's a ton of stuff. There's more as soon as I get out of this first room. So what I want to do is what I want to do is show you this way first. There's two different ways. The door's there, and then there's... So we're going to go south through these doors here. And as you can see, we're running into rats. This guy we were able to pull away by himself. So then we'll only be taken on feet after that. I'm glad I have the Void Stalker. It's not one that comes with the Dungeon Maker. I think I bought this from the stations with Dungeon Box. Okay, I'm not gonna bother clearing this. Well, I'm gonna try to avoid trying to clear this whole room out. But I don't know how well that's gonna work. Instead, I think what I'll do is just give you a look at the room, and then I'm gonna head back up the other way, and you'll see why. You'll see the reasoning in a little while. And if you notice them all talking, Pixiewrath even programmed text for many of the mobs in here. There's a big bad brewmaster. Get reinforcements quick. Oh, I'm afraid that reinforcements won't be coming. So look at there I go again. Pixiewrath really, went all out with the decorations, and this room kind of exemplifies what he or she did with almost every room in this entire dungeon. There's kegs and barrels and just stuff everywhere. Wine racks. That would be weird. But you know what? In a way, that stuff does come back to bite you. Yeah, tab targeting still a tad on the glitchy side here. See, before I had that one finished off, it automatically targeted the other guy. Just healing up a bit. You can see the walls are lined with stuff, with these upright type kegs and So there's guys all over there too. An erudite churner. So that's just to give you a look at the room, and something else to hint at. If you look here, we can't go this way. Pixiewrath blocked it off, and they actually blocked it off artistically. You know, did a pretty neat job by like using items to block it off. And there's a reason for that too. But there's this entrance. I just showed you here, not entrance, but there's a doorway right there that continues on southwardly. But we're going to go back real quick and start going the other direction. And I think there's mobs all over. Yeah, there's another mob, erudite conjurer, and I'm guessing, I think there was more hands crawling around the bushes. I'm going to try to avoid this guy. We have this big baddie here. Tinkered controller. Oops. See, I should have maybe been a little careful. Pixiewrath has these things on, a lot of them on walking paths, and cleverly designed, like you would typically find in you know, in some, should I call it professionally made or game-made dungeons, where you have to be real careful, and I've used a little bit of strategy and patience and waited. Tons of books they Pixiewrath put around, pictures. None of these books, you can't read any of these books, I don't believe. This room proved a little bit tricky for me before. We'll see how well I do this time. If you're following along with what all the mobs are saying, it kind of follows a little bit of the story. That guy, when I killed him, was like, our research, no. They talk about that a little bit throughout. I would definitely recommend, for a bit of an easier time, 2 or 3 people. Then again, these things scale, so bedroom go. Oops, they stunned me, so gotta watch out for those stuns. So this room is pretty much the bedroom, and as you can see, decked out to the nines, to the gills, with more furniture. So we have the chamber guard. I'm gonna see if I can. I didn't try this before, but I'm gonna see if I can pull Remnant of Unrest by himself, by itself. I did too. Cool. That worked. It's probably still going to be 3. Fighting here. I liked how Pixiewrath utilized the speech, but utilized the speech for more than just on aggro. Ooh, that was a knockback. That becomes deadly. And if you're in a room filled with mobs placed everywhere, if you get knocked back far enough, you'll aggro the other groups, and then you're in trouble. But yeah, Pixiewrath utilized the aggro trigger to get the text to work, and on the halfway mark, or it looked like mostly on the when you aggro and on death. I don't know why some don't work. Actually, we've been having a high rate of success seeing the mobs talking. This room is very tricky because a lot of the mobs in here do that knockback that I was telling you about. And there's lots of groups in here spread around. You should probably be totally fine if you just take out this first group. And then always keep this entryway to your back if you can. So if you do get knocked up, see here. Ooh, see, I just got knocked back. Go again. I don't know. That knockback really kind of spices things up. It really makes it adds kind of a level of caution. You definitely don't want to get knocked back into any other mobs. The first time I went through this, I did. I wasn't really caring, and I had my back towards the bed there, and as you can see, there's these guys, and so I quickly wiped. Spider webs, more decorations, tons of them. All very cool. Alright, take care of Remnant of Regret here. Oh, see that? Initial knockback. Really knocks you back hard. You might have lived now. So if you're following along and they're talking about some kind of experiment, and she might have lived now, as long as that. So far I'm doing better than my first trip through. I did wipe, I think I wiped once or twice before I even got to this point. Of course, yeah, it's not helping that I ran through it, so. Very cool. What's this? I think, Iridian Diary of Quel'Stezch. Can't read it. Oh no. Now I don't know if this would be kind of fun too. Maybe this is tied to the languages in the game, and you could maybe I just haven't learned this language, and I'll actually be able to read it later. I don't know. Either that, or it's just for atmosphere. But it would be really neat if this actually says something and can be read. And it's 21 pages, so. And it's not I'm thinking it's not a book you find in the world unless Pixiewrath named the dungeon after a main character in the game, and this book already existed. I don't know. Either that or that's a player-made book. So I'm thinking it's a player-made book. He or she made some moves. Guy's pretty big. Big chamber guardians. And all the mobs seem to fit too. Like what kind of mobs they are. This whole dungeon is just very well made, I think. So this part is closed off. I believe this is the other side to that dungeon type room that had the brewmaster in it right in front of me. I think this is that doorway that connects, and he's got it closed off, and I don't think it would ever be possible to get past here. I've tried jumping over these things. I tried and tried. I couldn't do it. And even if you did, there's no way you're going to get through that wall. Just more decorations everywhere. Banners, some kind of fountain here. I might die on this one. Yeah. So I got two, I think I got at least one of them, or did I get two of them? I had that one guy down really low. I hope I finished the second one off. I gotta be a little careful because I didn't kill everything in here. Okay, see that bad guy? Resurrected Experiment. He's cleverly pacing between groups of other mobs. There's a guy over there. So if I just wait... obviously some experiments and research going on. Saying no eligible target. That's a bit annoying. Well, that's a bug. Probably gonna die from this. A little unfortunate. Wish the pen is mightier than the sword sometimes. Pixiewrath also used a lot of witty and fun little text. I mean, it wasn't just generic slapped on as filler. Stuff like that. That's pretty cute. That's funny. And there's a lot more of that too as you progress through the dungeon. A lot more. So let's hope I don't wipe too much more, and I can at least show you the majority of this dungeon in a reasonable amount of time. There we go. Now it's letting me hit you. So what they say when you kill them, so you notice this time he didn't say the pen is mightier than the sword, because he used the trigger commands for on player death to say that. And if you notice here, you can already see a lot of this. Let me get a first person view. This room is incredibly decorated, and he or she put all these platforms up that you can jump, do a little Mario jumping. And here, we'll go ahead and take a quick peek. We're not going to go that way because this way actually loops, but leads or connects back around to eventually go to, oh my goodness, I don't remember it being this hard before, to that brewmaster area, to the brewery. That's where this goes. Now, at first, you'd think this would be hard, but it's not as hard as it looks. Well, maybe it is, but really well made. And look, so here's a way to get to this other room and eventually work your way down to that brewery. We're not going to go that way because we're going to keep going. And this thing is awesome. One of those fungus mushroom guys, like it's a past experiment. We're going to try to kill this guy without attracting the attention of the air dice. There's another one walking back there. See, it did that thing where I targeted one guy and then hit him, but it switched. And these guys are stunning, so, well, they're preventing me from using my attacks intermittently. So Pixiewrath could be using a lot of effect objects that change the way mobs behave from the basic form. That's alright, take care of you. Oh, now see here? Surprise attack from an escaping rat. So we've got these griffins up here. Doing okay, but it's not a total piece of cake, because you can see these groups are always getting me down like halfway or 3/4 of the way of my health down. Okay, so essentially, we have not a lot of distance-wise. We just go down through here, and then we have this long area. And then this one big chamber here. Aha, surprise. Oh, I should have targeted the resurrected experiment first. That's the higher level. But I think I'll be alright. Not too bad. Guardian Chocodile. Is that like... Sounds sort of like the name of a Pokemon or something. Chocodile. So, here's an area that's really interesting. If the previous areas weren't interesting enough for you, this area will definitely be. There's statues everywhere, graveyards, tons of effects and items everywhere, and all the graveyards and monuments say stuff that basically build upon the story that Pixiewrath wrote, and it's basically like a well-composed story. Hats off to Pixiewrath. I loved it. Oh boy. Come to me. Oh my goodness. Now see? Targeted that guy by tab targeting. Good, so be careful about that stuff. And see, I can't use my spells, not enough power. I don't know if I'm gonna... Maybe. It's gonna be close. Wow, I pulled it off. Okay, I'm not gonna go in here and try to fight everything in here either. But if you look here, everything says something. This monument was raised in memory of all who died here in our constant research. And there's even these, when you get close enough, these monuments or tombstones say stuff too. And it's funny stuff too. Here lies Ken's status, a real man or woman. We were never sure. And there's a whole bunch of graveyards over in that area in front of me as well that says things. And well, maybe I'll leave that as a surprise, the actual story. I don't want to give everything away. Because Pixiewrath did a great job with it all. Here's another one, Memorial. So here, oh, we're not quite there yet. I'm going to heal up a second. And we'll move on. Got this giant Chokedai. Gotta catch him. Gotta kill them all. Lots of skeletons. That's not promising. Oh shoot! See, surprise, surprise. And look, they keep stunning me, so I can't attack. Nasty. That's alright, I made it. That's good. So this area, I mean, it's getting progressively harder too. I don't know if you can really tell, but it is slowly getting a bit harder. It does pick up in this last stretch. Just gotta see that. Sneaky. Why can't I target this? Oh, I guess I am targeting. Look at, he immediately cast a spell on me. So, Pixiewrath really started laying on the effect objects on these later mobs to help scale them a little bit harder as you get towards the end. Still some very cool decorating going on here. I can't go in there for some reason. I think there's an object there. If you could look real closely, I think there's something covering that doorway. When dying, please make sure there is a coffin available in your sides to avoid any inconveniences. The coffin room. Failed experiments room. So we gotta be careful here because see, there's looks like a look at this, a pink elephant. Wonder what the deal is with the cow. It just looks like a cow. What do we have there? A little pig, a pink elephant, some little EQ2 race or some creature there. We've got some skeletons, double-headed. Ettin storeroom. While these Ettins have so far displayed no levels of aggression towards us, make sure you always have company while visiting them. They tend to be very impulsive. Here's another little room with some things. What am I looking at here? More tombstones. Whoa, the Mourning Widow. Take care of the Mourning Widow. Uh-oh. 2 Grave Watchers. Oh, I didn't know that. It has a knockback. So, let's see. I thought these things said stuff. See, this is good. That's, very, very creative and funny. Very good writing. I'm not going to cover everything like I said before, because I got to leave something as a surprise for you guys to want to explore it. I mean, I would want to play it anyway, because it's so well designed just for the battles. Oh my goodness, see all these knockbacks? It's not good, because I could get knocked back if there's other mobs. We'll move on. It's getting very foggy out. Or in. Aha. Disposal storeroom. Now watch this. Check that out. That's awesome. He had these bone pile monsters for the story. I don't even make it through bone piles. Come on now. Knowledgeable target. I might not make it. Maybe I will. Whew. That was a close call. But I thought that's, more creativity there. That was very nice. Very cool. Whoops. Whew. Gotta be careful in this hallway. There's so much going on and it's so foggy. Okay, here's a room full of hands. So you definitely want to be careful. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I can see right off the bat. I'm going to see if I can avoid them. Because I just want to show you more of this awesome dungeon. Uh-oh. Dun. Okay, so it goes on just to a little bit that way down this hall till a dead end where that cage is. And then this way, it's sort of, you know, it's just one big chamber. Whoops. And then you can see I just aggroed some hiding mobs. So I'm not gonna finish this room here, but there's some stuff in there and tons of cool stuff to look at. So what I'm gonna try to do is just sneak back to the entrance to leave the dungeon. We're gonna go back through the sea of skeletons. Gotta be careful because I didn't kill everything everywhere. This room is just one. This room might be my favorite room. Just so much stuff going on. They put in, Pixiewrath put in all the books, the library shelving, and I mean, just there's so much in this room that Pixiewrath designed. It's really amazing. I think even the floor is all tiled by Pixiewrath, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, this isn't going to give us an accurate it's not going to let us vote or give us an accurate result. Oh, it didn't give us anything. Is that okay? I'm gonna have to double check on that. I thought we got something just based on how many things we killed. So I don't know if that's a glitch or something they changed, because I thought when the Dungeon Maker first went in, it started that way. Like you actually had to finish to get anything. But then I thought they changed it so you only had to kill some stuff, and you could leave through the exit or the entrance, and it would still tally up a score and give you dungeon marks based on how many mobs you killed. But it didn't do it this time. But that was, let's take a look at it here on the Dungeon Maker window. That was Quel'Stezch domain by Pixiewrath, published about a month ago, 28 days, 19 hours ago. Does have awards. Currently only has 2 likes for action, 2 likes for style, and I have no idea why it's so low, except maybe that the ratings are getting reset. Because I remember initially the dungeon ratings only lasted for I think 24 hours or something like that, and then the same person could vote on the dungeon again. But I think that's a way for the dungeons to keep being reset. I'm not sure. I'll read up on that maybe for next week. But yeah, definitely deserves more than 2 likes in action and style. I definitely would have given a plus in both action and style if I would have finished the dungeon. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have tried to plow through that last room But I wanted to leave some things as a little bit of a surprise for you. The story is very well done. There's actually a little story that's told through the design of the dungeon, through all the many different dialogues all the characters have, through the environment, like not just the tombstones, but just what each room looks like. I mean, a graveyard tells you something. It tells you, it tells you there's a dead person here, and then you ask who's that dead person, and unfold the story that way, and the statues and everything else. And it was just so well designed, and some of the stuff is really funny and witty. Like, it literally probably make you laugh, or at least, if not chuckle, at least, crack a smile, I think, at some of the stuff that Pixiewrath had to some of the characters and say and whatnot. But definitely 2 thumbs up. It was pretty awesome. I'm going to put this on my blog at justonemore.com, and the links will be in the description. You can always find me on Twitter. I'm at Jeremy_Stratton. This Dungeoneered comes out every Friday, so I'll be featuring a new dungeon every week, not just from Freeport server. By the way, I forgot again to announce that at the beginning of the episode. This is the Freeport server. Last week's was Quel'Stezch's Star Trek Another Quadrant, which was also on the Freeport server. And so Pixiewrath of the Freeport server. That's where this one is. But I am able to run dungeons from just about every server there is. So servers won't be a limitation. And if you have some dungeons you really want me to run, just leave a comment or send me a tweet. You can leave a comment on my blog or on the YouTube comments. It doesn't matter. You can just get a hold of me and let me say, hey, could you please check out my dungeon? And sure enough, because I'm always looking for awesome, cool dungeons. And they're my favorite to run. And there's, in my opinion, there's too many of the typical token runs, which is nothing but easy tokens, 5 minutes, blah blah blah. I really like to look for the creative stuff. So that does it for this week. Tune in next week. I don't have anything planned yet for next Friday, but I'll look around, and if I still don't find anything, we'll just do Russian roulette and just jump into one that looks interesting and try it out. Alright, until next week, I'll see you then.